What's going on, folks? This is Coach Markus for Pro Fan Talk, and we are back. The NFL is the gift that keeps on giving. And right now, one of my friends is here. We are going to talk a little bit ball, talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and everything that's going on. And most importantly, we are going to talk about them birds. So let me bring on my buddy, fellow Eagles alumni, Barrett Brooks. Barrett, what's going on, big guy? What's going on?
Appreciate you having me on, Coach. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir, man. We ain't been on. We ain't talked in a minute.
I know.
Just going back and forth between that dreck that was the last 5 games of the season, man.
It was pretty pitiful, man.
That was god awful.
Yeah.
God awful. I mean, and we can start right there, bro. What did you think of like the last 5 games, man? How did that strike you?
To tell you the truth, man, it to me, I understand not being assignment correct when you don't know on the defensive side of the ball. When you don't know, you don't know. And that doesn't allow you to play fast and explosive. So I get that. But what I can't get with is the laissez-faire attitude that the team displayed throughout the season. I've seen teams come in and really punch us in the face and made us like it. And that's what's most disturbing to me. You know, you see the level on how these guys approach the game. You see how the 49ers approach the game, the way they practice, you know, the way they handled the offseason, the way they went into camp. You know, Big Red the same way. You know, Andy Reid had his guys, you know, playing. You know, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and yet he's playing in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? Our kids aren't playing in the preseason. So to me, that's definitely why this team did not take advantage of the talent they had on offense, number one, but didn't even get anywhere close to what they were supposed to be during the season when it comes to, you know, the team as an entire unit. They just never played. They never got to that level. You know, we kept saying, all right, they haven't played their best ball yet. Well, they played their best ball. We just didn't think that was enough to, you know, to win at this level.
Yeah, man. And we got in that trap where they're going to get better. They're going to get better. They're still winning. They're winning ugly. They're finding ways to win. All of them buzzwords we went through during the season, and then it was good until it wasn't. And then when it wasn't, it was god awful.
Oh, it was the worst.
It was god awful. And I understand about not knowing your assignments and being confused, because the minute you on the field and you got to think, you already a step behind.
Exactly.
However, that is no excuse for our god awful garbage tackling. Our defense could have looked at least adequate. We didn't even look like an adequate varsity football team on defense, the way we were tackling. It was a crying shame. And it looked like everybody from the defensive line all the way back in the secondary, it was like everybody was going, trying to make business decisions. Nobody wanted to come up and make a hit. And we just look how you let Debo take a 5-yard pass 40 yards for a touchdown.
We're not
right through the middle of the field, untouched.
You can't even look at how they attempted to play defense at the level, man. And Debo came in. First of all, he talked trash all season. Until he got to our game and then doubled down on it.
Yep, doubled down on
it. And turned around and did exactly what he said he's going to do and worse.
Yep.
And we let him. And then turned back around and got smashed against the Cowboys the next week. And from that point on, it was like, you know, and we, you know, we talked about them having a game plan against Hurts. Well, evidently, you know, they were right about that game plan, because I just didn't see the same person I saw the previous season. I didn't see the urgency. Yeah, I didn't see the urgency in the entire team to what I saw last year. They just seemed like they were, like I said, a laissez-faire attitude about it. Now, I'm not going to say they didn't play hard, but they didn't play intense. They didn't play with that will to want to fight. You know, I just didn't see the fight that I saw on both teams. And once, after those 10, 11 games, and I think it really started with the Dallas game where, okay, people kind of expected us to lose to the 49ers because they just were playing great football at the time. But to lose the way we lost, and then Dallas said, you know what? We should have won the first game against them.
Right.
We hit them in the mouth, and they didn't respond. but we didn't respond either. They said, this time we're going to go out, we're going to hit them in the mouth, we're going to keep hitting them in the mouth. And they didn't respond, and we didn't respond, so they just kept doing it. And it became the game plan for everybody after that.
Everybody, yeah. You know, and
I
didn't understand, because I thought the Dallas game killed us with turnovers.
Right.
Our three best players all turned the ball over, and we lost all of those turnovers.
Absolutely.
That was the first thing. And then when you remember the first 3-4 series when we did play San Francisco, we moved the ball, and we missed opportunities and couldn't we couldn't put 7 on the board, man. So we had our opportunities. And then of course everything that went on with the defense would basically, I'm hearing all these stories now about Sean Desai. I'm like, I got to take that with a grain of salt, because I don't know what you're going to do when somebody pull the rug out from under your feet.
Right.
I didn't think he played. He was calling the defense that bad. Yes, we had issues, but everybody knows what the situation was with our linebackers, the injuries we had in our secondary. And in spite of all of that, we still had that game against Miami. We still had that game against Kansas City. We still had that second half where we shut down Matt Stafford and the Rams. So
how about the Bills too?
Absolutely. And we still, so my logic is he put a good product on the field for a couple of games where we had the opportunities to win, but we couldn't get the offense and the defense on the same playing field where we could just dominate a team. We could never do that.
Yep.
It was always a tale of two halves.
And the year before last, when we went to the Super Bowl, our Achilles heel was the special teams.
Yep.
I mean, we got beat with the special teams. Even in the Super Bowl, we got beat the special team with the punt return and, things of that nature. But then to turn around this year, and I got to give them their props, the special teams ball.
Man, who would have thought that Coach Michael Clay would be the best coach on the roster this year?
Exactly. I'm screaming, let's keep Michael Clay.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl year, I was like, can we get a Michael Clay sighting? But now, I mean, I got to give a man props. I mean,
he went from
up last year. The year
went from worst to first.
Right. And now I'm saying, hey, I'm going to give you your flowers, bro. You balled out.
He balled out.
Had those guys going,
I did the joke earlier in the year where I said I gotta put to bed crash test Covey. I said because he has become a legitimate returner on punt return. So I'm not gonna give him the crash test moniker. That was kind of a dig to him, because I always thought when he did punt returns, he moved so fast he couldn't set himself up and set his blocks up. But this year he looked good. I believe he was top 5 in the league in punt return.
Was considered a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. So you went from worst to first, man. So again, I never thought that Michael Clay would be the best coach on our roster this year. That surprised me a lot, man. But for whatever reason, even on offense, in spite of everything we saw out of Brian Johnson, everything we didn't like.
Hold on.
Crash test Covey, man. I called him crash test.
It took me a second, man.
He looked like a crash test.
Right, I can see him with the little stripe coming down,
Stripe coming down, yo. But think about it. He used to do the punt returns that he used to move so fast, he used to run into his blockers.
Yeah, he never set anything
up. He never set anything up. And then this year he came in, he learned his lesson. He took his lumps.
Right.
But what was I saying? Oh, with Brian Johnson, man. And it was funny because I heard in the press conference, Nick Sirianni kept using the word stale. And I was like, the offense ain't stale. We had 1,000-yard rusher and 2,000-yard receivers. The offense is not stale. Our play calling is predictable. That's what that is. Everybody named Mama knows what's coming. We had, I believe it was 2 deflections this year that turned into picks off of us trying to run the screen. And we couldn't hide it. Everybody knew it was coming. And we were screaming about these daggone bubble screens this last year. So that wasn't anything new. But for whatever reason, it just like they would not change it up. They would not put some adequate motions in and shift the formations. They wouldn't do any of that.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you the truth, Markus. And this is me being as plain as I could be.
Mm-hmm.
I have a different way of thinking when it comes to that, because I won a Super Bowl with running the same 5 run plays and the same 5 passing plays. We just dressed it up with a bunch formation, or we had 2 wide. We would use formations and we would use motions to kind of disguise it a little bit. But at the end of the day, there were times we would walk up to the line when I was with the Steelers and say, we're running right here.
Right.
And we're going to kick your ass. And that's it. And they didn't have that attitude. They didn't have that fire and desire in their hearts to go out there and do that. You can run the same plays over again. All right, we're going to run power to the right side. That means we're going to block. We're going to double team the front side, pull the backside guard, and we're going to pick a hole and we're going to run through it. We had that type of mentality. We're playing backyard football where I'm going to tell you where we're going and you can't stop us.
You can't stop us. And you know who does that?
Attitude.
San Francisco.
Exactly.
San Francisco does that.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that stale stuff because to me, it's like you said, stale. When you call the same players and they can predict it, I understand that. So you dress it up with motion stuff. Yeah, I see that point of view also. But then it just comes to, all right, I'm just better than you are. Exactly. And I'm going to show you that I'm better than you are. I'm going to run this and you can't stop it. And that's a mentality that the 49ers have. So
and what's so frustrating is that we had that. We had that the first 10 games. But every time we would run that slant across the middle with AJ, he would catch that 5 to 7 yard slant, and he was at least good to break at least one tackle.
Turn it up. I'm going to guarantee you 8 yards.
After all of that nonsense they started about him being a diva and the conversation on the sideline, all of that kind of stuff, that was what, week 2?
Right.
And what did he do after that? He only went on an unprecedented NFL record-breaking run.
Right.
So I'm like, if that's what a diva is, I want more of that.
Right. Give me that.
The hell with what y'all call them and what y'all think it should be.
Yes.
If we got to target that man 15 times a game, then do it because he's producing. And to the point we were just making, everybody knows he's going to get the ball and they still can't stop him. And we got away from that for whatever reason. Now, then you hear the reports coming out, Jalen was freelancing and doing stuff on his own. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that. Maybe he did. But you know what? Jalen Hurts wasn't calling all them damn bubble screens. Jalen Hurts wasn't running all them plays with no hot reads. He wasn't calling them plays. So you got to give. I don't know if Brian Johnson was hamstrung by Sirianni. That's the part I don't understand. Because he made a point to say it was his offense. It was the same offense we ran last year when we went to the Super Bowl. So I'm like, okay, then what's the difference?
Right.
Is Brian Johnson that bad? Because I refuse to believe that you had this man on the payroll for 3 years. You watched him work. You were comfortable enough to hire him as OC. And he craps the bed like that. Got to be something else to that. Got to be something else.
I'm going to say this about Brian Johnson. He was a gifted play caller even when he was at the University of Florida. He had 2 sets. He had Trask as one quarterback, and he had the kid from the Indies first rounder last year. Wasn't it Richardson? He had Richardson, and
right.
And the way he called that offense was amazing because Richardson was the red zone guy. Trask was from 20 to 20, and he made that system work. And he called great game. In fact, I called a game, a Florida game, and I think it was Florida, Virginia, and I interviewed him. And he said, yeah, man, I just got to take advantage of their skill sets. Right. I'm like, okay, then, yeah. So this is why I was so comfortable with him coming in and calling plays this year because in talking to him, I thought he was going to do the same thing with Jalen.
With Jalen, yeah.
But I don't know. It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of Jalen. It's a little bit of Sirianni and a little bit of Johnson. If you can't get that right mix, then you get what you got this year. They have a gifted offense of everything they have. They have a top quality offensive line. They got a top quality running back, top quality tight end, 2 top quality wide receivers, and a top quality quarterback. That's all you need.
That's it. We got weapons. We still have the weapons.
And by the way, we still got the same guys coming back next year.
Yep.
With the exception of Swift.
Yep.
And if they're smart, they'll sign Swift. And it's not going to take a lot because The running back was, I'm sorry, coach, but the running back position just isn't valued like the days when you played, bro.
Nah,
You
it ain't,
so
man. I'm glad you mentioned DeAndre Swift too, because I wanted I had a couple questions from people on Facebook and Twitter, and one of them, I got a dude from Philadelphia Eagles Zone Facebook group. This dude is named Troy De La Cruz, and he was asking about bringing DeAndre Swift back.
I think
and I'm like,
idea.
Absolutely. I'm with you 100%. Bring him back.
And to tell you the truth, it'll be I think he'll give him a hometown discount also.
You think so?
Being at home, I think so, because there's not
going to be
a lot of money. There's not going to be a lot of money out there. You got Saquon Barkley out there. You got Josh Jacob?
Yeah.
The running back from the Raiders. I mean, it's
been a lot of talk about Saquon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of top quality guys out there that you can sign. I mean, I'm talking about starters. Jacob ran he won the rushing yardage, not this year but last year. He was the top rusher.
Would you jettison DeAndre Swift for Saquon?
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Because number one, Saquon got a lot of miles on him. On him.
He hasn't had a healthy year yet.
Yeah, he got a lot of miles on him, number one. Number two, he's going to want a little money. He's going to want that bag. Yep. He didn't get the bag last year, so he's going to want it this year.
Oh, he got to feel like an idiot about the way that whole thing went down last year.
And he said he screwed a lot of his guys too, bro. A lot of the running backs were like, man, why would you do that?
Yep. Trying to be loyal to the Giants and all that. Like, no, it's a business.
Right.
Treat it like a business, man. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about the starters that are on, and when I look it up, man, it's not like the running backs of free agency this year are really good. I mean, really good. It's probably the best crop that's been in a long time. So I mean, it's going to be a lot of guys that get signed. I mean, you're not going to get the deal. You're not going to get the deal that Miles Sanders had last year. I don't think that you can at this point. I mean, there's so many guys out there. I'm looking at them like, look, all right, here you go. For instance, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler. Now, if anybody, the offensive coordinator is going to want, more is going to want to bring in Austin Eckler.
Yeah. But to me, DeAndre Swift is a younger Austin Eckler, a better runner. We don't know if he's a better receiver because we didn't throw him the ball.
Right. But
we talked all of that smack. All of that smack in the preseason. We never even threw him the ball.
No checkdowns or anything.
Nothing. And again, and in my opinion, the second year in a row, we wasted a running back.
Absolutely.
And they still got over 1,000 yards. Just imagine if he didn't have them games where he only had 5 carries, 6 carries.
And look at this. I mean, come on, man. And at that point, he had like 600 yards, 500, 600 yards.
Exactly.
And then, look, Clyde Edwards-Helaire from the Chiefs probably going to get him a ring this year. Cam Akers, balled out from Minnesota. He was with the Rams at the beginning of the year, went to Minnesota. Zeke is out there still. Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary. So, I mean, there's quality out there. There's quality running backs out there. And I think that he's one of the upper echelon guys. If you put him in the top 5, I can see him in the top 5. When you see the top 5 is Derrick Henry, Jacobs, Pollard, Barkley, Eckler, and then probably him after that, Swift after that.
Yeah, my problem with Henry is Henry's a unicorn and he's one-dimensional.
Yes.
Because if let me say it like this: if the Eagles are going to continue to run the ball like we've been running the ball, you might as well get him because you damn sure ain't gonna throw it to him. What's the point of having a dual threat running back if you never give him enough touches?
Markus, it'd be like a paperweight.
Yeah.
They're not gonna use them anyways.
I feel horrible. I feel absolutely horrible for what they did to Rashad Penny.
Oh,
you wasted a year of that dude's career.
Absolutely. They sold him on the dream.
They did, man. Time is the one thing we can't get back, and you wasted a year of that dude's, health, and he didn't do nothing.
Right.
Well, he did a couple. He did 2 kick returns, and he maybe ran. I bet you he didn't get 10 carries this year.
No, there's no question. He only dressed for 2 games.
Yeah.
2 games, man. So, I mean, thinking about this Eagles team as they go forward and what they're talking about more, they saying he doesn't like to run anyways. But I can remember in Dallas, he was definitely using Pollard and Elliott.
Yeah.
So I remember him doing that.
I'm hoping he will bring that. I saw a video where he was kind of walking through some of the plays he called in Dallas. And the first thing that caught my eye was they do a lot of play action, and they do a lot of play action with Dak was under center. And I'm like, you can either go do it like that or do it out of pistol. But for God's sake, stop running play action out of freaking gun formation.
Right.
It doesn't
make
work.
Sense. No, it doesn't make sense. And
it doesn't work.
And for people, to run play action, it's not just to show the defense to run. It's also a solid protection. Solid meaning you're going to keep a tight end in. You're going to keep the running back in. And they're going to become blockers. Just in case they do blitz, they can pick up the blitz. And that's how you run your shot plays. Now you can send, Smitty down the field. You can send Brown down the field because you got guys in blocking. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you a chance and an opportunity to keep Hurts in the pocket and let him throw it down the field with the notion that he might be running the ball and then have him go over the top. I mean, that's what you use it, man. There's so many ways in which you could take advantage of Jalen Hurts and his ability to run. And that's another thing. We need to get back to using his intangibles. Remember, intangibles used to be a bad word when you talk about Hurts.
Yep.
Oh, but his intangibles. They're about, his intangibles making him. No, his intangibles is what he needs to do. It gives him that dual threat, making that defense honest. And they weren't honest. They blitzed him so much because they knew he wasn't going to run anywhere.
And he was breaking somebody's ankles every week. And
Bro,
you know who's using their intangibles now? That dude named Brock Purdy out in San Francisco.
Oh, and Mahomes.
Yeah. All of that crap that Mahomes went through the season with the bad receivers and all of that kind of stuff, and they still made it back to the Super Bowl. And Brock Purdy, they gave Brock Purdy the same criticism they was giving Jalen Hurts last year. Absolutely. He's a system quarterback, and the only reason he's that good is because everybody else, he got the best offensive line in football. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got all the weapons. And I'm like, that's a problem?
Right.
Why are you criticizing him for that?
Exactly.
You know what? And he did it. Purdy is doing the same thing. The only thing he keeps doing is winning all the way to the Super Bowl. And they got a damn good shot to beat Kansas City.
Well,
I don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes until until somebody show me they can beat him.
Right.
But Kansas City is not good against the run.
Neither the 49ers though.
Yeah.
That's their Achilles heel right now. Everybody's been running a rock on, and I'm gonna tell you what, that Pacheco kid is a
boy runs hard.
South Jersey guy.
He runs violently.
Yes, from out of Rutgers.
Straight from Vineland.
Yes. I mean, he runs hard. I like the way he runs, man.
Man,
I love the way he runs.
One of my guys on A2D radio, that's his cousin. I remember telling him, I was like, I hope that he stays healthy long enough to get his bag. Because he's earned it. But that man runs violently and recklessly. And like he's gonna run so hard to the point where he hurts himself hard.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping he gets that bag before something bad happens, because they tell us running backs we ain't got a long shelf life anyways. And the way he runs, he's looking to hurt somebody. But I will say this. If you remember in the Super Bowl, he had that in him. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson took his heart.
Woo,
he laid that pop on him. He laid that pop on him. He was no more good. So it's going to be a good game, man. But like I said, until somebody beats Andy and Patrick Mahomes, I got to stay with the dude, man, because he's that good.
I mean, yeah, so, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoy the way he plays. I mean, he's one of those guys that you can rely on him being consistently a tough, hard runner, which is right up Andy Reid's, because he wants to maximize every experience in the running game. Because he's not going to do it that much. But when he does, he wants to make a difference. And that's why he's the starter now instead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's exactly why.
Tell me this, though. And this is what really irks me about what the Eagles did last season. The NFL is a copycat league. Everybody copying but us.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
You just said it. Andy Reid, he picks his spots when he likes to run, but he will run the ball. San Francisco, you know what they're going to run. They're going to do that skinny pitch, or they're going to do the outside pitch, or they're going to do the read off tackle, or they're going to do that behind the quarterback motion, or somehow they're going to shift, and it's either going to be Kittles, Debo, or CMC at that slot position that's got to be guarded by a linebacker.
Exactly. And
You
motion
know
does
what's
that.
coming. Motion does that. And I'm like, who's the only team that doesn't run any motion? Us.
Markus,
Like,
I'm
what
gonna
in
tell
the
you
word?
I'm gonna tell you this. You're right, man. And people think motion confuses defenses. That's exactly what it does, confuse them. But the number one thing that it does, it creates number matchups. They're bringing somebody from somewhere else, and now you have to recount as a defense. You got to recount and figure out who's going to get who. And we just line. And first of all, also, I think we line up our receivers way too wide.
Way too wide.
We got to use minus splits. That's letting the sideline be a defender number one.
Yep.
So I'm saying bring in minus splits. Bring him in a little closer to where the offensive line is. That way you give him a three-way go. He can go inside, outside, or vertical. If you just put him on outside, inside, or vertical, I mean, it's really easy.
This year, again, Sirianni said this was the same offense. But I don't remember last year all those times where we had two receivers in the same vicinity.
Right.
That happened a lot this year. To your point about being too close to the sideline.
Right.
It did make sense. And I was like, and
that was freestyling though. They admitted it though. They said, look, we were freestyling out there.
Man.
And that just goes the sensitive in the ranks, you can't have that, man.
You got it. But that I understand, but I guess my thing is like that's why you paying them coaches all that money.
Right.
That's how they make their money.
Exactly.
I was hoping, and we'll get into Keller more in a second.
That's what I want to say real fast, Coach Mark. You know who's running style that I was thinking about running style Pacheco runs like?
Who?
Michael Pittman. From Arizona. Just runs angry.
Yeah.
Angry.
I can see that.
He went to Tampa Bay also. Just runs angry. And that's exactly the way he runs, man. Exactly.
You know what? I'll go back a little bit further than that. Eric Bieniemy. If you remember Eric Bieniemy at Colorado, he had them big Mark Bavaro type guns.
Bro, his guns were so big that it would cause him to fumble, bro. That's how I remember.
Do you remember that game where he knocked over his offensive tackle?
Yeah.
He pushed him down because he missed a block or something. I was like, that dude was a beast, man.
Bro, I was playing in the Big 8 Conference, and I was at Kansas State, bro. And I can remember playing those guys, man. That team was amazing, man. I mean, Eric Bieniemy, man. JJ Flanagan.
Yep.
Brooks. Westbrook. They had Westbrook there. Who else they had? The quarterback. Slash.
Cordell Stewart.
Stewart. And on the defensive side of the ball, they had Kanavis McGee and Alfred Williams. In fact, they would beat me so bad my freshman year in 1990. I redshirted, but it was our last game of the year. And I dressed for that game because I could play in one game. And they were about to put me out there. And I'm like, nah, you ain't putting me out there. They're not going to blow my red shirt. They was going to try to blow my red shirt over one game. Oh. It was being so bad that they had they put McGee and Williams. They brought them in at tight ends. And they were catching.
Mercy.
They started catching like 10-yard pass plays on us, going down the field. Their defensive guys came in the tight end. And then the icing on the cake, what made everything wrong, they brought in this guy. He didn't even have a buffalo on his helmet. And ran a reverse on us for like 60 yards, a touchdown.
That's a shame.
They were beating the snot out of us, bro.
He wasn't even on the team long enough to get a decal. That's a damn shame.
They won that championship that year, yeah.
What you think of these hires, man? These coaching hires.
Well, let me start off with Fangio. I like Vic Fangio coming in because number one, instead of getting all the disciples of this defense we've been trying to run for the past 4 years,
right?
He is the innovator of it. He is that guy. That's number one. Number two, he is a teacher. And everybody's like, oh, well, they were talking stuff about him down when he was playing, when he was coaching in Miami. they didn't like him as a defensive coordinator. That's because he demands you to play his defense the right way. He demands you and commands you to make sure that you're ready to play.
I didn't buy that for a second anyways.
Too much kicking it down in Miami, man. In order to be great, you got to focus, man. And they kicking in Miami, bro. They out at the Rolex and all that stuff instead of being ready to play on Sunday. They want to kick it the night before. You know what I'm saying? So that's
man. I'm not believing anything Drew Rosenhaus puts out.
Right.
Like, stop playing, man. Come on.
It was one person, not Drew Rosenhaus, bro.
Not Drew Rosenhaus, man.
Right.
So,
but then
I was gonna say real quick. I wanted Fangio because I wanted somebody older, much older. I wanted somebody that's got a little cachet and gravitas, where anybody else coming from the side, he got enough respect when somebody's going to pause before they try to ask him to change something, to do something, because he knows we didn't get the man sitting next to the man. We got the man. We got that dude.
Exactly. And that he's a teacher, man. He's a teacher. There's not going to be a situation where guys are going to be out there. They not know where to be and how to get there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing. He's going to teach these guys how to play his defense. You know, so that's, so this is such a young team that these guys must grow up. And he'll be a nice piece to get them to grow up. And also, we're going to run on the 3-4. I don't know if people understand this. This is a 3-4 defense. This is not a 4-down defense. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to run a 3-4. So, and, to me, we got, it's the perfect mix of players that we have. We got the two nose guards. We got Davis and we got Tua Pelotu at the nose guard position. If Fletch comes back, he can play one end over the tackle, and then you have Carter at the other end over the tackle. Or even better still, Williams over a tackle and Carter over a tackle. I'll tell you, Williams deserves the right to start, bro.
He does.
He is a baller. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then
him and what's the Nigerian kid? Ojomo.
Ojomo. So they can play that. They're custom made to play at that position. And then on the outside linebackers who are defensive end / linebackers, that's what we have out there. You got Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Nolan Smith. You know what I'm saying? You can add BJ to the equation if you want to. Those guys out there are truly linebackers. Now, I'm not gonna say we're gonna drop BG. We're gonna put him in the best position to drop him. Or him or Sweat. But the other guys, that's what they do. That's what they're made to do, bro. They're not defensive ends. They're linebacker Fs. And it's the same guys that he had like when he was coaching. You look at the linebackers he had when he was coaching, the linebacker coach with the Saints. He had that Ricky Jackson, Pat Swilling, so guys like that, you know what I'm saying? In the middle of, defense, he's going to have real linebackers. And hopefully he gets the linebackers that he's coached before. Like when he's with Baltimore, he had one of the best in Ray Lewis at the linebacker position. Guys like that. He got Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis when he's with the 49ers. And that defense led the NFL in every category. He coaches guys and makes them fundamentally sound. And, oh, by the way, everywhere he goes, the safeties play at a high level too. Ed Reed, you know what I'm saying? When he was at San Fran, Dante Whitner, the other guy, was a Pro Bowler also. He demands those guys to play great, but he puts a lot on them now. He tells them, look, in this defense, if you're a middle linebacker, you not only have to stop the run, but you also have to stop the pass. And we're not going to send you any help.
Right.
I talked to Dante Whitner. I interviewed him, and he said he asked a lot of those linebackers. So hopefully, both he and Howie Roseman come up with a game plan to bring us in some boss linebackers.
Yeah,
have to draft one, but he might have to bring one in. To
we got to have a vet. We have to have a vet because I think I don't know what they're going to end up doing with Nolan Smith, because I think Nolan Smith is too light to be considered a rush edge. He to me. And just looking at him, even on a broadcast, and the TV's supposed to put weight on you. He looks smaller.
10 pounds of you, huh?
He looks smaller than Willie T.
Boy, Willie T was small, man, but he played the game. He played the game with that finesse aggressiveness, man. Like he was finesse guy, but he could explode. You know what I'm saying?
And T was faster than people give him credit for. He could cover
way faster. Yeah,
he had
safety
better hands. Yeah, he was safety in college and quarterback in high school. So T, You know, T is my dude, man. He's still one of my best friends to this day, man.
Yeah, me too, man.
But even like Nolan Smith to me should be in that vein, but he's not. He's trying to be that rush edge. And I'm like, bro, anytime you come up against a tackle, you are going to lose that battle of physics. It is not going to fall in your favor. You got to be at least 240.
Yeah, we're gonna put these on you. You know what I'm
saying?
We're gonna put these on you. Maybe he can go and make me line up in the middle.
When he can get past you, he can do that, but even he got popped twice. He popped his shoulder twice, right?
Yeah.
Now, the first time it was kind of a weird thing because somebody grabbed his shoulder and he twisted funny. That was one thing. But that second time, he made the tackle and his shoulder popped out. I'm like, bro, you better get in the weight room and do them overhead presses or something. Because if that's the position you want to play, you're going to catch them hands every game and you got to be able to handle that weight coming at you. And right now, to me, I just think he's way too light.
Right. Well, like I say, man, we got to find something to do with him. And even from the safety position, I really do like Reed Blankenship.
I do too.
But do we have to coach around his abilities, or can he be coached into being a better player than he is?
I think he's smart enough where you can do that.
Okay.
Because to me, he strikes me as the dude, he don't run the 4-3.
Right.
You know, he knows what his limitations is, because when they first put him in there in 22, he made some smart plays.
Yeah,
he knew where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, he picked off.
You know what I mean? So when he came back last year, I was like, he earned that spot.
Absolutely,
he earned it.
Absolutely.
And he looked like he belonged there. So you get more reps and you get more comfortable with it. And I don't think that was a step down by him being the starter.
And I'm gonna tell you this. Also, I'm gonna say this. And I'm not being by any way racist or anything about this, but he reminds me a lot of Michael Zordich. Michael Zordich was slow as pond water, but
he faster than Zordich. He definitely faster than Mike.
Exactly. But Zordich was able to play that game at a high level. Penn State's finest. He was amazing, man.
I played with Mike.
People where they were. Me too. He played. He put the eyes where they're supposed to be at number one, but he made sure that he was able to go out and make sure that he could be in the best position to make a play number two.
Right.
So he's sort of this. I like Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown's gonna come back and be an all-pro guy when he gets back. I mean, not probably next year, but the year after next, I can see him being a Pro Bowler. He's explosive, man. He's explosive.
My only issue with Sidney Brown is to me, he looked exactly like Marcus Epps. He was fast, he was physical, but it was almost like Crash Test Covey again. He moved so fast, he would drop his head and miss tackles or come up and try to lay the boom on people. Yeah. And he was missing and I was like, dude, Marcus Epps does the same thing. Yeah. But to your point, I think he's going to be better. I really hope this knee heals the way it's supposed to and he can come back strong, because I think he's going to be a good player, because I got sick to death of hearing everybody wishing that we still had that we would have taken Kyle Hamilton in the draft during the Detroit game. And that was big on Twitter, watching that. We could have had him, but we took who we take instead of him? Jordan Davis. Yeah. And I'm like, I was okay with that, but everybody want to be
we don't want to talk about Jordan. The first 10 games, Jordan Davis was at work. After that, I guess it got a little too cold and he put that winter coat on or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And and wasn't able to play as consistent as he needed to play, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this because I'm digging on it, because I love the kid, you know what I'm saying? And he I just didn't think he might have been playing hard, but he was in a position where his body couldn't allow him to play the way he needed to play. Even though he was playing hard, it wasn't like he was in good enough to shape to play explosive every single play. You gotta condition yourself for that.
What was the game where he chased the quarterback out of bounds? Was that Buffalo?
That was Buffalo. Yeah, a perfect example.
But after that play, he was never the same.
He just couldn't crank that engine again. He
could-
tried to crank it. It just wouldn't crank. You know what I'm
Put
saying?
it on that lawnmower.
Yep.
And
And you know, that's
wouldn't
like
start.
and that was a game he had 95 reps. The defense had 95 reps in the game.
Yep. I think I honestly I think Seth called it right when he said that he need to, ease up on the eating, and really he needed to shed probably about 20, 25 pounds, maybe close to 30, so he can get, so he can last longer. And he was doing that in the beginning, and he just trailed off.
Yes.
Thanksgiving caught him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't allow yourself to do that. You gotta stay in shape, man. So that was that's one of their shortcomings also. I'll tell you what, man. Say what you want to say. Fletch played better this year than he played the previous 2 years.
Agreed.
Fletch balled out this year.
Agreed. I'm hoping that him and KELCE decide to come back and go and give it one running back one more time. I'm hoping.
I'm hoping KELCE comes back because he wants to come back. That's number one. Because we're gonna need him, especially with the new offensive coordinator. We'll discuss them in a minute. But we need to have if Fletch can. I can't see Fletch coming back because number one, he played well enough that somebody's gonna give him some money.
Yeah,
more than we gonna give him.
Yeah, that's true.
More than we can give him, somebody's gonna give him some money because he played well enough that people took notice of this game. He played more than the Young Bucks.
Yep.
He played twice as much as any of the two starters. I mean, Davis or Carter.
And still made impacts every game.
Yeah. Balled out. So I gotta take my hat off to him.
Yeah, man. He in the fountain of youth, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they got at the NovaCare system. I want to drink that water, whatever they got, bro. Because him, KELCE, BG, balled.
All of them balled, man.
Lane too. Yep.
But back to Kellen Moore and this dude, what's his name? Doug Nussmeier?
Yeah.
Nussmeier. Yeah. I'm hoping they can get Jalen back on course. I didn't think Jalen, I think it would have been different if his knee hadn't been hurt the first half of the year.
Right.
Because clearly Jalen didn't look like he was back to his old self until that game he threw that interception and he got called for the horse collar when he hawked him down. Right. I was like, man, I ain't seen him run that fast all year. So hopefully he'll get it right, because I don't think he was 100% like the last, 3-4 games of the year. Right. And then as soon as he gets healthy, he pops his finger out. And I was like, Lord have mercy. It's like Murphy's Law up in here, man. But I think they had pretty much checked out. I don't know. You know what? What do you think about the whole CEO thing with Sirianni? Because that came into play, in my opinion, because I was like, dude, if you are the head coach, there's some things that you're supposed to be doing right now that you're not doing. And the math ain't mathing for some reason. I don't know what was going on with that, with Patricia and decide that whole thing. And then even with Brian Johnson, it's like something wasn't working. And I'm like, if you're going to be the CEO, be the CEO. Make them decisions.
I'm going to give you my honest assessment of it. And what I look at, the practice habits that they had
facts
weren't conducive to them getting in a street fight.
Facts.
And, as it gets colder later on in the year, the type of football that you need to play gets a little different. People start jockeying for position. People start running the ball a little more. It gets cold outside. You got to tackle. You got to want to tackle. You got to have that want to. And I'm being honest, I don't think that they were built for that. Too many walkthroughs throughout the course of the year.
100%.
Talking about resting guys. I'll rest when the season's over with.
And
I've never wanted to come out of game. Guys, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't want to practice. I'm like, come on, man. I just think it was a different mentality. So when you're asking somebody to turn it on, well, they ain't turned it on all year. So how you going to expect them to turn it on? Yeah. That's got to be something that you've already done and accomplished throughout the year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do that. They didn't practice. They didn't practice hard enough, and it didn't get instilled in here. I'm not saying, no, let me say it. It's not that they didn't practice hard. They probably practiced hard, but they didn't practice physical enough.
No, not even close.
They didn't practice physical enough. Too many walkthroughs, too many two-hand touches. That's what I mean. Like, that's all tackling is. Tackling is want to. Blocking is want to.
Attitude.
You know what I'm saying? It's all attitude, man. So I didn't think they could turn it on because they never turned it on in the first place.
I heard that phrase too many times this year. Flick that switch. And it's like, I don't know what switch y'all talking about, but in football, There's no such thing as a switch.
That fuse has never been put on or turned on.
No, that thing got to burn all year, and it didn't come to fruition any clearer than when they put out that thing that when they put out that speech that Dan Campbell had with Detroit in OTAs in training camp, when he was like, we got to hit, we got to tackle. He was like, I know you guys don't like what you're doing, but you got to trust me. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what we need. He had that attitude. He had it, and it's not complicated. Bruh, we just didn't do it.
Come on, man. I mean, this team is about to play both of these teams that play in the football, perfect examples. Number one, I'll come with the Chiefs, the number one example. Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL. You can say he's the best player in the NFL if you want to go to standards of how people rate NFL players. Right. The quarterback position, the number one position, and the number one guy at the quarterback position is Patrick Mahomes. So when you see him out there playing in the preseason, a bell should have went off. Ding, 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 ding. Yep. If he's practicing and the way they're practicing, then we need to practice the same way.
The same daggone way.
And then we look at the 49ers. What's the kid's name that left here and went to the 49ers?
Hargraves. Defensive tackle, Hargraves.
Yeah, Hargraves. Hargraves go there, and Hargraves flat out said, dang, you guys practice hard here. We practice hard here. We didn't practice that hard in Philly.
Nope.
And the only person that said something and got pissed off about it was Fletcher.
Yeah.
But he flat out said, look, we practice hard here. That meant that they didn't practice hard enough there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't practice hard enough. So we couldn't turn it on because we never had it on.
Yo, to that point about practice, did you see or did you watch Asante Samuel's podcast?
No, but I heard.
Bruh, you gotta watch.
I heard.
Man, he made sure to say, like, listen, he said, I ain't trying to put down nobody. He said, I'm just telling you what I saw from my experience. And this is what happened. And man, I was like, woof. That if that didn't put into clarity, you play how you practice. Period. He said Donovan was throwing balls in the dirt in practice. He said, damn it, if that didn't happen in the games. He said
he babied him. And then he said, Coach said, we have to police ourselves. How you instead of starting quarterback, saying stop throwing the ball into the ground.
Man, I said, man, if that don't tell you the truth right there, there's still a place for them old school, hard-headed coaches, man. And I was hoping that the Eagles would sign Eric Bieniemy because I was like, his no-nonsense style of coaching would probably benefit Jalen Hurts better because Jalen Hurts said out of his own mouth, he's used to being coached hard.
Right.
He can deal with it.
Right.
Then, damn it, that's what you need. You can't have nobody like Kellen. I mean, I think Kellen Moore's going to do a good job, but I wanted somebody older. Kellen Moore looked like him and Jalen the same daggone age. Kellen Moore got that baby face, man.
Opie Taylor, man.
Oh, my goodness. I know he's smart and he good with what he does, but the reason why I wanted another old school coach on offense, again, I don't want any reason why Sirianni can kind of get involved and like mess it up.
I don't think that's what happened though. I don't think it's what happened. No, I think what I've seen from Kellen Winslow that he's proven that he is a solid coach, and Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore. I can't
Kellen Winslow.
Yeah.
Way back.
Kellen Moore showed that he is a good coach by coaching the guys that he coached the last 4 years and this year just passed. Yeah. They respect him because he's an adequate play caller. Bro, it was his second year in the NFL as a coach that he became an offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback coach 1 year and then became an offensive coordinator. So to show the kid is sharp, the guy's good. And I say kid, but shoot, because I'm 51 years old. He's what? He's not even 40 years old yet.
Yeah, he's 37.
Yeah, but he impressed me, man, because
he gave Dak one of his best years.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 years where he had the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you got to respect a guy like that. Yeah.
4,500 yards that 1 year?
Exactly. 4,800 1 year also.
Yeah.
So he's he's shown the ability to get these guys going in the right direction. I know he can do it. You know what I'm saying? Even though he looks young, he looks, like, he's a small town kid, you know what I'm saying? Out, fishing with a pole cane. He may look like that, but it shows, he's shown me that he can call plays, man. And if he can get this offense going, man, I hope that they respect him enough. That's why it's imperative we bring KELCE back. We got to bring KELCE back. KELCE being back in this new offense will help in Jalen Hurts' development as a quarterback. Not saying that Jalen can't read or read the coverages or Jalen can't pick up the offense. I'm not saying that. He can do that. And he'll do a great job of doing it. He will be phenomenal at picking up this offense. But it just puts one more thing off your plate that you don't have to worry about when your center is as good as Jason KELCE. That he can call the defense, he can call the mic, he can call the blitz, he can change the blocking scheme without the quarterback worrying about it. That's just one facet of your game that he won't have to worry about.
And with him, with KELCE, Kellen Moore, and Jeff Stoutland, that's a trio you want on your side.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want KELCE to come back because he can help Jalen be a better quarterback. And like I said, it's not taken away from anything of his ability to go out there and do the offense or anything else with it. It's more so, I love the fact that that's one thing that he won't have to. He takes a lot of things off your table as a quarterback when you don't have to call the mic. Right. You don't have to worry about the blitz because he can call the blitz. He can, if he comes to the line and he sees there's an extra guy sitting on the outside and we're running to the guy on the extra side, he's the type of, all right, then I want to run tag. He'll say tag. The guard will block down on that one technique. He'll pull around and get that guy that nobody's blocking. That's something that Jalen Hurts would have to call himself, but he can call it and he'll take care of it because that's how smart he is as a player. So just take something else off your plate. And you know what I'm saying? Not saying Cam Jurgens couldn't do it, but I know KELCE can do it. And KELCE's by far right now a top 5 center in the NFL. No
absolutely. And I'm a fan of Cam Jurgens. I think if and when Jason does finally step down, I think Cam Jurgens is going to be plug and play.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to be just as good. And if he does come back this year, he got a whole nother year to learn behind KELCE and that whole thing. So
absolutely,
he'll be ready to go when it's time to go.
Absolutely, so, and he is ready to go now. I just think KELCE's, you know what I'm saying, he's the yin to Jalen Hurts' yang. That's all.
Did you watch any of that Super Bowl, that Pro Bowl?
I'm gonna say I did, man. And I'm just a junkie, man. I gotta watch it, bro.
I couldn't. I didn't watch not 1 second of it, bro.
I peeked at it. Put it like this: I peeked at it and changed the channel. I peeked at it and changed the channel. You know what I'm saying? I watched them do the snap, the long snapping contest.
That was funny. I watched that.
Well, see, you caught a little bit of it too. See,
I think that was a replay though. I think I might have seen that on YouTube or something. But you know what? This is what I figured out with the Pro Bowl, right? It's not for us anymore.
No.
Because
not for us as ex-players, the junkies of football.
It's not for us anymore. And I didn't think about this until this past weekend. I said, dang it. I didn't even think about it. But they trying to set it up because the next Olympics, they're going to have flag football. Flag football is international. I'm like, now it makes sense. That's just another way the NFL can sell its brand internationally. And then what happens yesterday? Now we going to Brazil. Week 1. We can't even have a home opener. We got to go to damn Sao Paulo, Brazil, and play whoever we go
already. You booked the ticket already?
No thanks.
I'm trying to get my bosses at NBC to fly the show out there, but they ain't gonna do it. I know they're not, but still.
Nah.
I mean, that's big time as a player, man. Playing in Brazil, bro.
I played in the World League, man. I've been overseas enough.
Well, shoot, man. I'm telling them, my wife about to take me to Brazil to get my teeth done. My pearly whites done. She taking me to Brazil to get my pearly whites done. So man, I'm trying to go to Brazil ASAP, man.
Listen, after I saw what Brazil did, what was the Olympics in Brazil? Rio?
Yeah, Rio.
Rio. But I saw
that's the Jesus
the statue.
Yeah,
but yo,
yeah.
did you see what they did to the favelas?
No.
There's a highway that I guess on the way to the Olympic Coliseum in Brazil. They put a giant wall up to block the view of the favela. So if you were coming in, when international people come in, they wouldn't see the slums.
Oh,
I was like, that's grimy.
Yeah,
that's grimy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
they say you like when you go over there, like my wife told me that that's the land of, where you go get your body done, you know what I'm saying?
BBLs.
You get the BBLs done,
Yep.
and you go get your teeth done there, so I'm going to get my teeth done there pretty soon, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Be careful, don't turn down the wrong alley, because they got whole cities look like Kensington down there, man. It ain't. So, but they're gonna do what they got to do. They're gonna expand this game. It'll be a fun trip, but that'll be one of those places where
they better not go off the reservation.
They can't go off the reservation. They cannot go off the reservation because they good for kidnapping folks in Brazil.
Bro, and you an NFL player gonna kidnap you, be like, hey, you want your star player? Hey, you gotta give me this and this and this and that.
Exactly.
I watch Fast and the Furious, you know what I'm saying? My boy Dom say, welcome
Brazil.
To Brazil. You know what I'm saying? I said that on my show, Birds Huddle. I say, they're going to Brazil. Nobody knew what the hell I was talking about, but yeah, I'm a Fast and Furious. It'll
be a good game. It'll be fun, and they're gonna make the most of it. I just hate that we got to lose a home game because of it.
I know, man. I mean, when was last time we had a home game, a home opener game? Was it like 2019?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 2019, I think. Something though. Yeah, well, I may be wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. People get offended when you don't know everything. Man. I don't know everything. I just give you what I do know. You know what I'm saying? That's what.
I just found this out today. This is another dude that wanted to ask you a question.
What's that?
This guy's from Twitter. His screen name is The Power Within. What's your opinion of the talk of people wanting to unretire Donovan's number 5? I was like, I never heard that.
Wow.
Unretire number 5?
Is he doing it like that? I mean,
I ain't heard that one.
5 ain't that guy, man. 5, leave 5 alone, man. 5's a good guy, man. 5, I never played with 5, but I know 5 personally. He's a good dude, man. In fact, I like his commentation, him being a commentator on Jalen, because he treats Jalen very fair, because he understands the dynamics of being a quarterback in Philadelphia. So he knows the pressure. There's no other pressure like the pressure you get here in Philadelphia when you're the quarterback. It doesn't matter who you are either. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, you're gonna catch. You know what I'm saying? From Garcia to 5 to Jalen to Foles, you gotta play, man. That's the interesting thing about the Philadelphia Eagles and how we keep our Eagles, you know what I'm saying, on the straight and narrow. So we're gonna tell you when you're wrong, we're gonna tell you when you're right, we're gonna applaud you, but we're also gonna damn you also. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna hold you accountable.
Yep.
So last thing I wanted to hit up real quick, man. What do you think they are going to do with Bradberry?
To be honest, and I you know what I'm saying, I hate to do it to you, but they're gonna have to keep him, man. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to keep, and if he wasn't hurt and he wasn't playing that explosive, then they're gonna have to do something as far as put him in a position where he's got to play safety or something like that, because he's got to come in with a different mindset than when I saw that BS that I saw in the last game. Like him not coming up to tackle, that's not the Bradberry I know, the Bradberry I've seen play. It seemed like he just fell all the way apart the last 6 games. He fell off, you know what I'm saying? He fell off the wagon. Yeah, so I'm like,
they were picking on him. Picking on him. If you were a team that was scouting the Eagles and getting ready to play the Eagles the last 5-6 weeks of last season, if you didn't go after James Bradberry, you was just straight. You was stupid.
Right. And teams weren't stupid.
They
went after Bradberry.
Seattle,
they left that young kid alone. They left the young kid alone on the other side. Keely Ringo, they left him alone. Keely Ringo ball.
It's not been too many times where I've seen somebody's pro talent just go off a cliff like that.
Right. I mean, it was drastic too.
It was, man. I'm like, were you hurt not saying nothing? Like, what was the deal?
Might be the case. But I will say this. I don't expect the same production as I saw because he's going to be on the squad unless they cut him in June. If they cut him in June, then his cap hit only be like maybe 5 or 6 million, 6, 7 around that area as far as million. If they cut him now, it's like 20 or something like that, close to 20.
Is it? Oof.
Yeah. So they gotta wait to get him off the roster until June. But I mean, I just can't see them. I can't see them cutting them until June, but even then, they might keep him, man, because there's just not a lot of corners out there that you could say.
I'm gonna see if he seeks a trade or something like that because he could not be happy here anymore.
Well, he can't have it the way he played, and he brought it on himself.
He did. Absolutely.
No, we're not picking on him. He brought that on himself.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, 100%. I can see if you, we're just all right. We're just picking them apart. No. That's you put that junk out on the field. You put that production on the field. It wasn't us. We're not lying on you. We're telling the truth about you.
The big guy in the sky don't lie.
Bruh. I mean, come on, man.
It was bad.
Come on, man. You can't do that, bro.
It was bad.
Because I know I made some. I didn't make no other business. It wasn't a business decision. It's just Reggie White just, got me up out the club. He said he's going to leave the club. He got me up out the club. Wasn't nothing I could do about it. I couldn't stop Reggie White. You say what you want to say, bruh.
Nobody
can tell
could.
Anybody sitting right. I don't care who it is. You sitting right across from Reggie White, man. It's a different way of thinking, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Yeah, man, I fought my ass off against Reggie White. We battled and tooth and nail. But at the end of the day, man, we're talking about the most gifted player to put on a uniform.
Facts.
There's nobody with the size, speed, quickness. People understand, man. That man ran like a tight end, or he ran like a running back.
People don't talk about his speed a lot.
Right.
They always
strength. I'm talking about his speed, bro.
They always show that clip of where Chris Carter had to block him.
Oh yeah,
against the Vikings.
You know what I'm saying? Get out the club.
Get out the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Take your posse with you. Oh my God, man. But all right, man. I appreciate you joining me, bro. We're gonna get
thanks,
up out
man.
of here.
Appreciate it. Way too long, man. Give me a call anytime, bro. We'll jump on it again, man.
We have to do it again. I'm looking for somebody that's gonna help me with I'm trying to find some international people because I want to start following soccer.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually trying to find somebody from Brazil that that knows the Sao Paulo Football Club or something like that. I was like, hey, if I can teach you about American football, you teach me about the Premier League or whatever, so we can.
Don't they speak Portuguese over there?
Portuguese, yes.
Yeah.
Portuguesa. Yep.
It's not Spanish. I thought it would be Spanish. No, it's Portuguese.
You know what? I've known a couple people from Brazil, and they always say the same thing. Yes, I can speak Spanish, but Portuguese is so if somebody speaks Spanish to them, they can understand it, but they're not the best Spanish speakers. Portuguese is totally different. Just sounds the same.
Right.
But yeah,
man, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
You got it, brother. We're gonna do it again. I'm trying to make some normal things going because I'm doing a lot of live streaming, like I said. So
yeah, I've been checking it out, man. Of course.
I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna have to get you back on when I got all my graphics and everything together. So you see my graphics in the background.
Yeah. You do a cool job, man. You do it yourself, but that's what's up, bro.
Trying to step my game up, bro. Trying to step the game up. Yo, real quick, did you see the thing about Jacob Eaton?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I'm gone.
Oh my God! I was like, wow.
I vacated. I finished my contract and didn't sign back. So
yeah, I mean, we talked about that briefly, but I thought that was very interesting.
Very interesting.
Got to pay the money, man.
Give me my money. I got to
pay the bills. But all right, bro. I appreciate you joining me, bro. And we're gonna do it again soon,
Have
man.
a good one, bro.
All right, man. I'll holler at you later.
Later.